The gacha industry is as big as it's ever been. We already know that there's so many gacha games taking our money bit by bit, and it can be frustrating for us, but some of us do like some of the core gameplay that some of these games actually put out there. Me, I do like the core gameplay of both Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, but what's really interesting is that we've seen a shift in the sales market in regards to these games. Not only that, but you know, the recent earnings list for September 2023 and even August of 2023 is quite shocking, and it's shocking in regards to what we're seeing happen to certain games. Now, of course, I'm going to be talking about all of the top 5 and maybe even more of the ones that are in the lower register of, you know, who earned the most money this last month. But of course, before we get into that, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell to be notified of when the next video comes out on the channel. Guys, I am sponsored by Gamer Subs, gluten-free, keto-friendly, awesome little energy drink substitute, if you will, or you could also get the caffeine-free versions that we have as well. Of course, I am excited for both the new flavors, which is Grandpa's Ashes and Sweet 6-pack. And so if you guys have ordered that, let me know in the comments down below, or check out the link down below to get 10% off of your next order. Now, of course, without any further delay, let's go ahead and get right into it. 4 of the top 5 games right now are games that I play on a consistent basis. Now, first off, let's go ahead and go over the top 5. Number 1, Honkai Star Rail. Again, hitting that number. Well, actually, I am quite shocked about this, because if you look at this, Fate Grand Order took the number 1 slot in August of 2023, which is crazy to see how far it dropped. But I believe they had a anniversary of sorts last month. I could be wrong on that. I know there was a big celebration, but Honkai Star Rail takes number 1 again, which is crazy to think, because the last 2 months, I think even since the release of Honkai Star Rail, Honkai has outpaced Genshin Impact in regards to money. Now again, in September of 2023, they went down by $9 million. Wow, that's such a low amount though, low amount. But the crazy thing too is that if you look at this top 5, Genshin Impact is at the number 4. It was apparently, I'm so confused by this, but it looks like it went down 1 spot. Actually, that's what I think I'm reading here. It was the number 3 spot, and now it's the number 4, which means it did get overtaken by Uma Musume Pretty Derby, which is not a game that I play, but I do find it funny that they made 10 million more dollars than what it originally made, but that's in Japan too, so we got to keep in mind of that. But let's go ahead and just go over the top 5 really quick. Your number 1 is Honkai Star Rail. Your number 2, which is a game that I actually used to main on this channel, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Now I'm pretty shooketh by that, because they made $39 million in last month, which is bananas to me. Of course, they got top grossing in multiple times, but yes, they hit the number 2. Number 3, Uma Musume, sorry, Pretty Derby, which is usually in the top 10 anyway, because it is a big game in Japan. And as you can see, the region is just Japan as is, so pretty dang good for them. Number 4, of course, Genshin Impact. But what's funny is that Genshin Impact fell from the number 3 spot into the number 4, but earned $4 million more than it did last month. So that's pretty crazy. And of course, we see Qingque making $19 million in August of 2023, now bouncing up to $31 million. That's big. Now, I just gotta say, that top 5 is pretty nutty. We can actually go over the other ones. A big one actually fell 5 spots, which was we talked about, Fate Grand Order. One Piece Bounty Rush also fell by 10 million. The big one is Fate, because Fate fell down almost $30 million month over month. New placement actually with Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and I actually played this a little bit. It's not bad. 11 million to start out with, not too terrible, so good on them. Blue Archive actually losing about, Jesus, what looks to be what? Is that the, no, that's $14 million. $14 million they lost out on. Arknights actually gaining almost $1 million, but they still haven't released their Destiny 2 collab, which is crazy. Dragon Ball Legends went up 3 spots, but made $1 million less. Summoner's War, one of the OGs in this whole list, lost $2 million. Azure Lane actually gaining 3.4 million. I think it was because of the one character that they released that broke the internet because of how big the booba was. Hatsune Miku, Heaven Burns Red, One Piece Treasure Cruise, Ensemble Stars, Epic 7, another oldie but a goodie. I did play Epic 7 a little bit. It's not too bad. Tower of God, Danmachi Battle Chronicle. I was actually pretty shocked with making 3.9 million. I didn't think they would actually make that much. Princess Connect over in Japan, losing out about $500,000 more than what they normally do. Really sad because I loved Princess Connect Redive in the global version, but The big shocker to me is actually Tower of Fantasy now hitting below $1 million of revenue. They had a big spike for a while because they were getting content creators to actually look at their game. Come to find out, nobody wants to play the game. Sorry, Tower of Fantasy, it's just how it is. Counterside, another game I used to play, actually going to 300k. Artery Gear, another game that I played for a little bit, and I still have a download only because when I do go back to it, I want to play as the Miss Kobayashi characters. Falling under 100k. That's but they still made more. Well, not made more, but they still are like up there, not in the high or the low register. And then Hygen Ethereal, which I didn't think was going to do well in the first place, is falling down wayside. But let's talk about at least our top 10 at the very least, right? So what we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 being Arc Knights. Arc Knights, pretty good placement, went up 6 spots. Blue Archive falling 2 spots because of Ever Crisis coming in. One Piece Bounty Rush, I think is somewhat newer, but you know, still falling down 10 million. If it continues on this route, I don't think it's going to last too much long. Well, not last too much longer, but I don't think we'll see it in the top 10 after a while. I think it's still, I could be wrong. I think it's relatively new, but Fate Grand Order global version, actually, well, global overall, losing 30 million is big, or just about 30 million. And I'm very surprised by that. But honestly, Fate has been around for so long. Same with Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. I don't see these games going away anytime soon, to be honest, because they're cash cows. They make so much money. So I'm not really worried about that. But the big ones are obviously Honkai and Genshin, in my personal opinion. And I find it really funny that Genshin, while making more money than it did in August, fell down a spot. Yeah, excuse me. It's again late at night. What does that tell you? Well, we already know that Uma Musume is a big game in Japan. Gaining that 10 million is pretty crazy. Dokkan Battle had anniversary and then big celebration with the worldwide celebration going on. And big things came from that one. We got the merge Zamasu card. We got the Blue Boys coming back to make a Vegito. Lot of drama with that one as well. And then of course one-armed future Gohan came back for a card. Physical Trunks was a big thing. So many Easy A's were announced. There was so much craziness going on with this worldwide celebration. I do think that was actually an amazing one from what it looked like. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Genshin and Honkai. Now, why is it important to see that Honkai is beating out Genshin? And this is consistent. Like, if you could see, Honkai actually came from the number 2 to the number 1. Genshin fell down from the number 3 to the number 4. This has been a consistent basis that Honkai has actually been beating out Genshin Impact. But what I find really crazy in general is that it's still making a crap ton of money, which means gachas are still getting really popular. I mean, if you look at the first 3 games in total, that's $1 billion made in the gacha market between Honkai, Dragon Ball, and Uma Musume. And then of course, like almost another well, actually, if you look at the top 7 games, that's $2 billion made between all those games, and it's bonkers to me. I wanted to pull this up, right? Because I wanted to show people that there is such a short gap between the top 4. I mean, Honkai has 40 million, right? Genshin Impact has 36 million. And even if you want to take the top 5, there's 9 million difference between number 5 to number 1. And that's crazy to think because the top 5 games are again, some of the best games out there, to be quite honest. Qingque, their main focus is, you know, come in for the loot, stay for the lore. And I agree with it. I've been loving Qingque's story ever since I started. It's freaking awesome. Genshin has been there for 3 years, has been on the top of the Genshin has been on top of the gacha atmosphere for so long. It's crazy to see Genshin Impact consistently not in the #1 slot anymore, which is pretty nutty. Uma Musume has been a, you know, top 5er forever as well. Dokkan Battle, hit or miss sometimes, but Dokkan makes millions of money, or millions of dollars of money, for good reason. And then of course Honkai Star Rail only being out since the beginning of the year and is been constantly near the top 2. I can't remember if Honkai actually went below top 2. I could be wrong. I could absolutely be wrong, but it's just that I can't remember. Overall, between Honkai and Genshin, Hoyoverse has made $76 million. And to me, I think that's crazy because of the fact that we just talked about, or at least I just saw some videos about this, about Topaz and Numby, and it feels like the style of what they're doing for Topaz and Numby is just kind of ridiculous and very lazy. And we've seen Genshin Impact's characters outside of Neuvillette being nutty, well, and Lyney, I guess, being somewhat lazier characters. I feel like Freminet is just a re-skin of Tingyun. I feel that Lynette, being really good as she is, just kind of takes stuff away from other characters, like, you know, the speedrun thing being Yelan's, but it doesn't change how much money that Genshin and Honkai are making. And I think that it's crazy to think, as a player who puts money into this game, to see so much money being put into this game and not a lot of changes being made. So I highly recommend that people, not to say don't spend your money. If you want to spend your money, it's your money. I'm not going to tell you not to spend your money on these games that you like. But I am going to say is that we should be seeing more accountability between Genshin. Well, Honkai does better with its player base, to be honest. I think that Genshin Impact needs to do better with their player base, and I think that even with this amount of money, they should honestly be thinking about what they could do to show love to the player base. The fact that we're only getting like 20 free multis in regards, or 20 free summons in regards to the whole anniversary is kind of baffling. The fact that we don't get free characters more often than not is baffling, because this game makes so much money that there is no need for them to hide these 4 stars or even the standard banner 5 stars. Like, take Dokkan Battle, for example, right? Dokkan Battle gives away free SSRs all the time. Do you have to build them? Yes, you do. Do you have to level them up? Yes, you do. They don't give it to you like, oh, here's this free character now. You get them maxed out and everything. You have to do the work. You have to max them out. You have to, you know, summon to possibly get more of the character stuff done. And I think it's crucial that Genshin Impact kind of follows that. I'm not saying that Honkai needs to, because Honkai's still new. Give Honkai until the 3rd year anniversary, just like Genshin. And then I might say like, okay, maybe a standard 5-star here or there. But even with just the stuff that's gone on with Honkai since its release, it still makes this much money. Yes, it lost 9 million from August to September, but I still love the fact that they're still at the top. Now you look at Genshin, and Genshin hasn't really done much. It's still in the top 5, but they don't really give much. That's why, like, their sales would probably be a lot more higher if their player base was happy. And then look at Qingque. Qingque fluctuates a lot, but Qingque gives you a lot of good shit. Like, pardon my language, but costumes, all these different events that are going on. Like, it's a grindy game, but it's pretty fun. And Uma Musume, I don't know. I haven't played. So overall from this, I want you guys to take that, you know, Genshin Impact's doing just fine. Honkai Star Rail is doing fantastic. And the top 5 games are really, really good in general, minus Uma Musume, because I've never played it and I can't say it's good or not. But I can tell you 4 out of the 5 games are pretty good to play. If you want to take my suggestions from this, play one of those games. It's fantastic. Genshin Impact, Honkai are going to do great. They're always going to do great. They're always making money. 76 million between the two of them. And I'm not at all surprised. This is kind of a weird video for me to do because I've never done something like this to where I've talked about the sales of other games. But if you like this content and you want me to talk more about these gacha games and my experiences with these gacha games, let me know in the comments down below. Would love to hear you guys' opinions on this. Of course, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to entertain you. We will be back again with another video very, very soon. Of course, love you all to death. And as always, we will catch you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.